Hello everybody! In this video we will learn half double crochet in third loop. I will be using lightweight DK yarn and 4.5mm hook. You can use any yarn and a hook that is recommended or a hook that is comfortable for you. Also using a couple of stitch markers to keep track of the edges, to make sure edges are straight, so we're not losing or adding stitches in the end. You don't have to use stitch markers, you can use pieces of yarn, different color, or bobby pin or safety pin. Here I already made 3 rows. First was foundation half double crochet. I made 20 stitches just for this swatch. Then second row and a third row. Half double crochet and in the third loop gives you this braided look. We are crocheting in, let's find this third loop, in these loops. Here how to find it. This is the stitch, top of the stitch V, made by 2 loops, and on the back of the stitch, this is back of our work. This was front, how we worked, and this is the back, and this is top V made by 2 top loops. This will be front loop for us, this will be back loop for us, and this is the third loop. It is on the, here they are, third loops. They're almost horizontal. Here they are. Let's try and do it together. This is the end of the row. Turn. Chain 1 for the start. You can first chain 1, then turn if it's more convenient for you. Yarn over. Here is our first stitch. We're not going to count this chain 1 as a stitch. We will just crochet half double crochet, place a stitch right here, a first stitch. This is our back loop. Insert stitch in it, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull all 3 loops on hook to create your half double crochet. Yarn over. This is our next third loop. Insert your hook in there, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops on hook. This is our next stitch. Next horizontal bar, which is usually called third loop. Yarn over, insert your hook in this third loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops on hook. Now we have 3 half double crochet in this row, we decided not to count this first chain as a stitch. What happens when we're crocheting in that third loop that is located on the back of the stitch? Our next row, this current row, stitches are pushing stitches from the previous row, pushing these V's out, and we're creating this cute braided look. Let's make a few more stitches together. Yarn over, insert your hook in this horizontal bar, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull all 3 loops and hook, yarn over, insert your hook right here under this horizontal bar, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops and hook. Just a few more together. It will be easier to work if you push all this previous row a little bit forward away from you. This is the top of the stitches from the previous row. You can push them away from you, just roll them back. It will be easier to find these horizontal bars. Let me finish the row and I will be back with you. Here I am at the end of the row. We have 2 more stitches left. Let's make them together. Yarn over, insert your hook and this under this horizontal bar, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops and hook. This is our last stitch, which was first stitch of the previous row. The stitch marker shows us this is the top of the stitch, this top V, and this is horizontal bar. You don't absolutely have to use stitch markers. It's just if you have hard time to figure out which stitch was the last, where it is, make sure you don't add any more or miss it. You can use stitch markers. Put it in this case, put it in every first stitch of the row. Okay, this is our last third loop. Now we turn and chain 1. We can remove the stitch marker. You can chain 1, then turn, it doesn't matter. Sorry, I forgot to show you how you put stitch marker in the first stitch of the row. I did it off camera. Well, I still remember where it is. Okay, let's make our first stitch of next row. Yarn over. This is our first stitch, and this horizontal bar. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull all through all 3 loops and hook, and let's put stitch marker. This time I didn't forget. In this oops. This way we will see where our first stitch is. It will be last stitch for next row. Now let's continue. Let me get to the end of the row, and I will get back to you. And I'm back. 2 more stitches left in this row. Let's finish it together. Yarn over, insert your hook under this horizontal bar, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull your yarn through all 3 loops on hook, yarn over, and this is our last stitch. What was the first stitch of previous row? This is our last 3rd loop. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull yarn through all 3 loops on hook. Now we can remove stitch marker. Don't need it here. And we continue this way. Chain 1, turn, and continue working in this row. Yarn over. This is our first stitch. This is back loop, 3rd loop, the back of the stitch. And let's place stitch marker in this first stitch. And we continue to work like this. Repeat this 1 row. This stitch creates this like ribbon look, pretty braids, which are these top V's of the stitch pushed in front. If you just repeat a half double crochet and 3rd loop over and over again, it will be, the fabric will be reversible. It will look exactly the same on both sides. Thank you for watching.